The first player I ever remember being American, there was actually two. It was Coventry City in the early 90s, and they had two Americans. They had the wonderful, marvelous, all action, all the time Kobe Jones, and then they had a striker by the name of Roy Wegerle, and they were both pretty.
Nate in the chat, he shouted out the Roy Wegerle.
No way, Nate! I always liked you, man. I always liked you. That's
and
amazing.
then the photo here, so I lived in England in the mid 90s, and Kobe Jones, this is the guy for me. This is the first time I ever really connected Americans and English soccer in any way. And I remember on Match of the Day being like, oh, the American Kobe Jones. There was always like an uplift of like surprise, like this guy is he wasn't like a rotation player. He was a key player for a then Premier League team, and he really really put Americans on the mark. And we know him now as a commentator and as a pundit, and he pops up here and there in American soccer media. But he really was on the front wave of Americans in England. And here is the aforementioned Roy Wegerle, also a country. And wow, look at that kit. I love that. I don't know what that pattern's called, but that is a 90s pattern there.
Oh my goodness. He looks like Cloud9, doesn't he? He literally looks like Cloud9. Very, very quickly, I'm a huge jersey collector. I want to say hello to my friend Colin, who hooked me onto this awful, horrible curse. Made me get a new mortgage out on my house just to afford all the jerseys I like. Buriram United today, guys. Biggest team in Thailand. I will not take questions on that topic. Thank you. But yeah, Buriram, massive club.
Yeah, so there was the likes of Roy Wegerle and then Kobe Jones, both spending time at Coventry, a team I'm happy to see kind of in the zeitgeist a little bit with the likes of Haji Wright, doing some things. And they were in the FA Cup semifinal and promotion semifinal last year. But there's also names like John Harkes. He was really the first name that, scored a ultimate banger of a goal. I think he was in the running for a goal this season or something like that.
He was. What a goal. Look at that. He's one of my own. He's one of my own with that flag. He's just like me, John Harkes. We're practically the same guy. Yes. John Harkes technically was the first American player to make an appearance in the Premier League in 1992. Came off the bench for a middling Sheffield Wednesday side, but he deserves respect because it was sort of it's weird. It was sort of a novelty, Rob. If you remember, it was sort of a novelty seeing an American face and hearing an American accent in the game of soccer. We were aware that you guys kind of sort of liked soccer. You got a World Cup in '94 that went actually pretty well. It's remembered as a pretty solid World Cup, but we knew that soccer hadn't penetrated the zeitgeist, if you will, of the country, and it was a novelty to see an American player. And the ones that we had, we kind of we dug it. We kind of dug them a little bit more than perhaps their actual talent level may have usually dictated. We loved Kobe Jones. We loved Roy Wegerle. We loved when the goalkeeper started arriving. Rob, you'll know about that. We love these guys. Brian McBride, we wanted that. We bought into that novelty aspect because we knew what it meant. We knew it meant that soccer was finally on its way in the United States, and we knew it finally meant that the last bastion of the Western world, soccer finally conquered it. Finally, after so many decades of being, it's kind of sort of cool. We had Pele one time. Or George Best, all of a sudden, real players were coming from American shores to ply their trade in Europe and particularly the English Premier League. And it was really cool. It was really, really cool.
Bringing it back to the current day, I feel like the blogs and the influencers would have a heck of a time with a memory I just had of John Harkes. I remember seeing a clip of just the culture clash of an American over there. Footballers have always been kind of trying to make a statement when they appear or when they come to the game. They'll have their nice little getting ready bag and a good fit. and then John Harkes would roll up to the stadium wearing like his training gear, like his sweatpants and nothing to primp or preen. And I just remember me like, hey, I'm here to play soccer. What are you guys like? Why are you wearing a Gucci bag to the game? And I feel like if that sort of thing happened nowadays, that would just make the blogs turn a light. Having the American be the guy going casual when he's rolling up to the stadium for game day. Some other names, Brian McBride, can't forget about that. That guy, that he was actually one of the names I recall first when I was a youngster. But the goalie crew cannot be understated. And there he is. You've seen him on television a million times. Casey Keller with hair. With hair. Can you believe it? Wearing the Leicester kit.
It's actually Niles Crane from Frasier, Rob. Wrong photo.
Hey, after our first photo debacle, don't undermine me with the photos that we're putting up here. But yeah, Casey Keller seemed like he spent about 1 million years as a professional goalkeeper, and it's awesome to see him here. Oh, definitely more of an understated personality, but like interesting that a soft-spoken guy like that would have such a competitive edge. This gentleman on screen right now, a little bit more brash and bold. Of course, Brad Friedel, another player who had an amazing, lengthy career. Also here pictured with hair, didn't end up with it either. Also now features as a pundit on American soccer broadcast. But the American wave of goalkeepers. I mean, Americans were spoiled for goalkeeper choices. And what kind of a kit? What is that? Is that a Liverpool kit there?
It is a Liverpool kit, yeah, because he was a Liverpool backup for the first sort of 20 minutes of his European, certainly of his English Premier League career. Yeah, and he was well liked. Like again, the Liverpool players at the time, or most of whom you'll remember, Rob, they liked the American attitude. There is this thing about Americans in Europe where it's very sort of straightforward and no nonsense, and you kind of see what you get, and it's very refreshing in Europe to sort of meet Americans and mix with Americans. I'm being horribly broad and generalized here, and I apologize for it. I'm just saying that's the kind of the stereotype, if you will. We like Americans because they say how they feel and they say what they think, and that's very much how Brad Friedel's always been, especially how he was as a player, and that's what got him respect.
Yeah, he made many stops along the way, and we've been talking about our early memories of American players, mostly in the UK here. But there's a dense history of players in continental Europe and Germany. We could just list and do the remember whens for a long time over in Germany with the Eric Winaldas and many more. But talking about goalkeepers. Yeah, remember when we used to have goalkeepers? It's wild. We have more skilled and technical and talented players out in the field, but the goalkeeper position went from a strength to, sadly, a weakness here.
Wow.
In this new generation.
I'd be interested to hear what Nate's comments are about Nate's thoughts are about the current goalkeepers in the United States team, because I actually think Patrick Schulte is really quite good. Again, you got to look at it through the lens of my rabid fandom. But seriously, there's a reason why Arsenal was shopping for him in the summer before the season, because they wanted to do a whole Matt Turner thing where they bought the next American goalie and just sat him on the bench forever until he got bored and went to Germany. They wanted to do it because they saw something in him. I think he's really good, guys. He's got his own weaknesses. Interestingly enough, they have the same strengths and weaknesses for me, Matt Turner and Schulte. I think Schulte's quite good. I really do. I think he's better than Turner. That's my opinion.
Yeah, we talked about the current international window and who might see starts and who we want to see starts for the Pochettino's competitive debut against Jamaica tomorrow. We didn't really talk about the goalkeeper selection for that. I'm in agreement with you. I think we've seen quite a bit of Turner, and I think it might be time to see some Schulte. I don't know if Pochettino is going to be bold enough to give Schulte, the start in his first competitive match. But I feel like, of the options, why don't you give him a shot? What would you say? What would be the argument against giving Schulte the nod here?
What you've seen Matt Turner enough now. And you understand what he's about. Schulte hasn't been battle tested at the highest level possible quite yet, but he doesn't really have a track record of letting his weaknesses and his tendencies lose you a game. He's a little bit weak in the air, for example. His distribution is not superb, but number one is he's a really good shot stopper. He does the saves, and goalkeepers need to do the saves. That's kind of the main thing. So for me, it's a one. It's not a 1A, 1B. It's a 1 and 2. Schulte is the 1, and Turner should be the 2. And that's no disrespect to Turner. He's decent. Anything's better than Ethan Horvath. But yeah, I think Schulte's really good. I really do. And he's about 14. So get him in the squad. Like Nate said, play the kids.
Ethan Horvath taking some strays. There's 4 goalkeepers on this squad, and he's not even in them. So why give him that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'll always forget. Remember Horvath for. He came in and did a great job in the Nations League final when United States defeated Mexico. He came in and did a great job. He's great in spots, but I feel like if he's in the spot for long enough, a mistake will be made at some point. Turner, similar. He was on that great run when he was getting tons of playing time, playing all the national team games and playing MLS starts. And I thought he had a fantastic run there for a couple of years, but ever since he became a sporadic starter, the mistakes just have been piling up.